All right, y'all. Yeah, I'm triggered. Welcome to With Styles. Your boy is triggered. I'm not gonna lie. I am extremely triggered. And it's all because I saw what would be a headline. Saw a headline. The headline says Indiana hangs 63 on number 9 Illini in statement win. Man, I'm so sick and tired of narratives, man. It's I don't know how we get to a statement win in week 4. How we getting a statement win in week 4 when we really still don't know who is who? You know why? Because we have these stupid ass preseason rankings. How the hell is Illinois ranked number 9? Let me give you what Illinois schedule was beginning the season to earn uh number 9 ranking. Western Illinois, Duke, and Western Michigan. They played those 3 teams, and that warranted them to be in a top 10 team. You played Western Illinois and Western Michigan at home. And you played Duke on the road. Those 3 teams elevated you to number 9 in the country. That elevated Illinois to being a top 10 school. Now I hope my wife is not listening because she's a fighting Illini. She was a cheerleader for Illini, so I'm gonna be quiet while I say that. So I hope she don't watch this because I might be sleeping on the couch if she hear this. But I just want to know how the hell, how the hell, how the hell did Illinois warrant being a number 9 team in the country? Fathom me this. So now, statement win after Indiana was in the playoffs last year. Although most people will say maybe they didn't deserve to be in the playoffs last year, but they were. What's up, John? They were in the playoffs. Now I can get a little loud. I'm talking about Indiana, so I don't have to whisper. So, Indiana, statement win. When they're at home, it's a team that should be not top 10. But Indiana's schedule this year, Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, Indiana State. Theirs were their 3 wins this season. Bruh, I don't get it, man. These these narratives off of this game is bananas. Are you telling me that Indiana is going to be a top 10 team? And let me tell you this. Let me see what the rest of their schedule is. Indiana's schedule the rest of the year. And this is why it is so difficult. It's so difficult to rank these teams. All right? Well, here we go. This is Indiana rest of the season. They play Iowa. They're going to lose to Oregon. They play Michigan State. And they play at Oregon. Okay, that's a loss. They play at home Michigan State. Well, I guess the next 2 games on the road at Iowa, at Oregon. I guess at Iowa is going to prove how good this offense is. Then they're going to play at Oregon, Michigan State at home, UCLA at home, at Maryland, at Penn State. That's 2 losses. Wisconsin, and at Purdue. Now, y'all, let's be honest with ourselves. How fortunate of Cincinnati to come to a university that their schedule got to be the most friendly schedule. Just like last year, they played Florida International, Western Illinois, UCLA, Charlotte, Maryland, Northwest Nebraska, Washington, Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State, Purdue. They lost to the only ranked team they played last year. And this season, they're going to, more than likely, it's not a foregone conclusion, they're going to only win one of the ranked teams. And I'm telling you right now, Illinois is not a top 10 team. And I understand rankings are rankings that's built off of last, like it's totally, but Illinois is not a top 10 team. Illinois is not one of the top 10 teams in this country right now, even without seeing fucking games played. You really believe that Illinois at this moment would have been a top 10 team? And it wouldn't have bothered me so much if one of the popular sports networks didn't put statement win. Y'all, this is mind numbing. And people get upset all the time because of the SEC bias and all this shit that a lot of people who are not in the SEC say. There are actually some SEC people that sometimes say we get biased. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what let's go not even the let's go our middle teams. Can you imagine if a Missouri, if a South Carolina, if Oklahoma, if an Arkansas played those schedules? So Illinois was ranked 9. How far are they gonna drop? Here's the rest of Illinois' schedule: USC, Purdue, Ohio State, Washington, Rutgers, Maryland, Wisconsin, and Northwestern. Illinois, this is why it's so important how preseason rankings are giving preseason in the preseason, how it affects the rankings at the end of the season. So since Illinois was ranked 9 and they lost to Indiana on the road, how far is Illinois going to drop? Did they drop to 15? Did they drop to 16? They're going to probably be top 20 still. So Illinois starts so high because how they get to 9 after beating Western Illinois, Duke, and Western Michigan. So they climbed to 9, right? So they beat, let's say they beat 25 USC at home next week. And then let's say they lose to Ohio State. Let's say they lose by 20. So they go from probably 16, they probably jump back up to 13. Then they lose to Ohio State at home. Let's say they drop back down to 17. And if they run the table on Washington, Rutgers, Maryland, Wisconsin, and Northwestern, they're going to be a top 15 team. How fair is that? When they are going, so they beat USC, they beat the 25th ranked team. They have one ranked win in the season, and they would be probably ranked top 16. That's the problem with preseason rankings. Because just because they were ranked 9 and lost, they're not going to drop that far. Even though they got Mollywop, they're not going to drop that far. And that's unfortunate because Illinois is not one of the top 20 teams in this country. They're not. But because of the preseason rankings, they got a margin for error to continue and maintain to be a top 20 team when their schedule is not even probably not even a top 50 schedule. Now, I don't know that. I'm just guessing. Now I'm speaking without any information, but I'm just looking at their schedule. The only thing that brings their schedule up is playing Ohio State. All them other teams are not very good. So what's interesting is that if you look at, let me do this. If you look at like a team like Florida, and this is the shit that bothers me. Let me pull up Florida's schedule, y'all. Give me a second. I didn't even think of, so I wasn't ready for it. So let's pull up Florida's schedule. So Florida started off with Long Island University. Then they played South Florida. All right. Before the season, we're not looking at it now. Before the season, you saying, okay, they got those. All right. But here is the rest of Florida's schedule. So Florida being 1-3 right now, they have no room. All right, it's Billy is probably out of here because here's the rest of the schedule. So they played the last two games. They played at LSU. They played at Miami. Then they got Texas A&M. They got a little bit of break with Mississippi State. Then they go Georgia, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Florida State. Of their 12 games right now, let's speaking right now currently, they have 1, 2, 3 games that are top 5 teams as of this moment right here. And then that's 3. Then the rest are 1, 2. Then they have 3 more games against teams ranked in the top 10. Oh, so Florida schedule compared to Indiana or Illinois schedule. That's come on, man. That's the difference. But SEC buys. SEC buys. Even when I've said before the season started, this is not the best our team does not have a dominant team. Like the rest of the schedule, there's not a top tier SEC team that I can say right now that can go beat anybody. We don't have like those teams we had like 2019 with LSU and those Bama teams and that Georgia team when they had that we don't have that level. I'm not that confident to say that any one of these SEC teams, no matter if they playing in someone's backyard, no matter if it's playing on a Army base, no matter if they playing on the road, that they're probably gonna beat that team. I don't think our conference is that we don't have that strong a team. We don't have that team this year, but we got a lot of damn good teams. And I am a Gator. I'm sorry, I'm a Gator. Y'all done step your foot up in an unfortunate situation. I'm sorry for you because your schedule was tough at the beginning of the season, but it got rougher. Because I don't think anybody saw Florida State being this good. And there's a chance, there is a high likelihood that right now that you got a bye week this week. You might be 1-5 going to facing Mississippi State on the 18th of October. That's highly likely. It's unfortunate because I would say maybe Texas A&M, although y'all did show some fight against Miami, maybe getting a week off might help. Having Texas at home, maybe. I hope so because I like Billy. But it's not looking good, man. Even if y'all somehow beat Texas, it's just not looking pretty. your two games that you can see that you think you should win on paper is Mississippi State and Kentucky. But you play Mississippi State between Texas A&M and a bye week. I guess that helps. But then you play Kentucky in between Georgia and Ole Miss. Are you gonna come out of that Georgia game healthy? God, dude, that's a rough schedule. But so what I'm saying is that y'all match those schedules against Indiana and Illinois. Let me see. Let me find a Missouri. I can do South Carolina. Well, I do it. Nope, they don't play South Carolina. Let me find Missouri. Let me get Missouri, for example. So Missouri, to me, is a good team and not a great team. So this is Missouri's schedule. So they play Central Illinois, Kansas, Louisiana, which I hate. They call Louisiana Lafayette, Louisiana. They are not Louisiana. Like, how did they fucking get the name Louisiana? University of Louisiana. No, they're University of Louisiana Lafayette. I don't know how the hell they became the face of the state. I don't know. But they're Louisiana Lafayette to me for forever. So Louisiana Lafayette, so they play South Carolina. Now they have UMass next week. All right. But now after UMass, so if you want to say their first, well, it'd be 5 games. Only game that's rough with South Carolina, they play their 3 non-conference games early, and they play Kansas. Kansas, I guess, is their rival. If you want to, that's their rival game. This is how they end the season, though. Alabama, at Auburn, at Vandy, Texas A&M. They get to Mississippi State, but then they play at Oklahoma and at Arkansas. Like, bruh. Look at the Illinois Indiana schedule. When did you reach a moment in the schedule where you have 3 to 4 weeks of just that caliber of opponent? See, that's the difference between one conference and another. If you go to their schedule and you go, let's say you go to Indiana. I'm going to go there since they won. Indiana, you got at Oregon. Okay. Let me give you that one. Then you got Michigan State, UCLA, Maryland. So you play, let's say Illinois played 3 tough teams, then they got 3 cupcakes, then they got Penn State, but then they end with two more not so good teams this year, Wisconsin and Purdue. There's no steady. The difference with the other conference that I just talked about, that Missouri and Florida play in, is you got Missouri's got 1, 2, 3, 4, a bye week, 5, 6. Like, and Missouri's not at the top of the conference. I hate the narrative with a statement win against a team that should not have been a top 10. That's all I'm saying. I went a little bit longer than I thought I would, but I want you to be honest with yourself and say there's no way Illinois is a top 10 team. And how fortunate that some teams are able to get a schedule. Every conference has good teams. Don't even, that's not what every conference has a top 2 to 3 teams. Everyone. I don't care what conference you in. Your top team or your top 2 teams are pretty damn good teams. That is not what makes a conference. A conference is the totality of all the teams. Even when we added teams, those 2 teams are difficult. When the Big Ten, when you add Rutgers and Maryland and whomever else they added years ago, like, come on. They didn't get tougher. That league did not get tougher by adding teams. They watered down the schedule by the teams that they have added. Now, when they added the old Pac-12 teams, the better teams came over. But before that, when they went from the Big Ten to the Big Ten +1 and the Big Ten plus, like all that, those teams that they added did not enhance the league in football. So I'm just saying that was not a fucking statement win. It wasn't a statement anything. They just beat a team that was overranked, overhyped. And Indiana administration to their play-by-play, to that everybody knew that Illinois was coming into Bloomington overhyped. Because you can't have the announcer talking about before the game that we know we're going to win. You know how they knew they were going to win? Because they saw the games that Illinois played prior. Right, y'all. This bye week came at a perfect time. I hope the guys get healthy because I think health is the biggest thing for us. Hope we get healthy. Hope we get some what's the best word? They're able to progress with the offense. I'm going to learn a lot by how Bush calls a game and how Cutter Boley executes game plan from last week. Because there should be, quote unquote, an evolution of the game plan. Because you can say whatever you want to say about the narrative about Bush Hamdan, because you only see the plays that you want to bitch about. But if you go back and watch, even last year, but I'm not going to go back to last year. If you watch game 1, game 2, game 3 of this season, don't look at the execution of the plays. Just look at the plays. The man has consistently been in his bag. And the bag was not shown the last week when you had a guy who was comfortable executing the majority of the plays, because there were still plays out there that we left out on the field. Even with Cutter Boley at quarterback, there were some plays that he didn't execute to the highest. There's still plays there, but let's see the evolution of it. Are we still climbing, or are we about to go the other way? Because I'll tell you one thing, one position and players that are evolving with the scheme are the running backs. The running backs were, well, since Dante got hurt earlier, Seth showed way more patience in his running, and it popped some more runs that was there week 1, week 2, that he would not have gotten those +3, +4 yards that he got last week, the first 2 weeks. He got, what I'm saying about +3, +4, +5 is that week 1, week 2, he might have gotten 8 yards. This week he got 12, 13, 14, 15 yards because of his patience. So that's the evolution I want to see from the quarterback position. That's what I want to see from Cutter next week is he better than he was last week? All right, I'm out. Didn't expect it to be almost 25 minutes. But for I Am a Gator, I feel for you, brother. It's going to be a long season for you. And I have a feeling that y'all might be looking for a new coach. It's unfortunate, but because I like Billy. I like Billy when he was here. He did some things for my area that coaches at Lafayette was not giving Baton Rouge kids chances. So and those kids produced when he was there because he gave them a chance. So that's why I like Billy. I think Billy went to the wrong situation, but as they say, sometimes all money not good money. And I think he should have stayed at Lafayette another couple years. I think he would have got into a situation that fit him better. So, but he's gonna be walking out. He's gonna be walking out with a stack of money, I guess, and he's gonna find another job. So, all right, y'all, I'm out, and hopefully we come out of next week on the positive side.